So why don't you just tell us all first a little bit about yourself and what got you here?
Myself. So, born in one of the most anti-Semitic parts of the world in Ukraine, right down the river from Chernobyl. Came here in '92 as a religious refugee. 44 years old. Live here in Central Jersey. Two children, 16 and turning 6 and turning 16. Um, and that's pretty much it. Been a rough road.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so help me do the math because I'm not good at it. So you're 44 now. You came over in 92. So how old were you when you came?
Came here as a 10-year-old kid.
Okay.
Grew up in Brooklyn mostly. Moved to Jersey back in '98, just enough to graduate high school in North Jersey. Went from being the odd Jewish kid in Ukraine to being the odd Russian kid in Brooklyn as an immigrant coming in. And yeah,
All
then
right.
moved to Jersey and been here since '98.
Okay. All right. So are your parents still here?
My father, we lost about 24 years ago. My mother lives in New Jersey as well, yes.
All right. So good, strong nuclear family right here in the Garden State of New Jersey. Awesome.
Garden State.
Awesome. All right. So you wanted to share your journey, your cancer story. Why don't we start by when did you realize something was wrong? When something within your health was not going right?
So something's been gnawing at my shoulder for a year and a half, right? Being that I've dislocated it before, other injuries as a kid, you keep thinking it's arthritis. I'm just getting old.
Right.
Nothing's going to happen. And ignored it for a while until this last March. In March, I got sick with the flu. The reason I found out it was the flu is because a couple days later, the kids got sick, went to the doctor, tested positive for influenza B or whatever it was. So I knew that that's what I had. I had the flu. While I was sick with the flu, just had a hard time breathing, right? Everything was right here in the chest, couldn't breathe, was in pain. So it caused me to quit smoking after many years. And then as I started getting better and the flu went away, the pain in my chest didn't. So obviously I get stress tests done every couple of years because my father passed of a heart attack. So I've been checking my heart every couple of years. Went to the doctor to get an x-ray because the chest hurt. Then had a surprise that I forgot about, a follow-up with the cardio. Went to see the cardiologist in late March, couple first days of April. And she told me the good news is your heart is perfectly fine and the cardio is, the stress test is clear. But I see something large on your chest x-ray that doesn't belong.
Mm,
And that's where this journey started.
okay. So right then and there, did she say, "I think this could be cancer," or just let's take some more images?
She said I should get a CAT scan and continue the testing, but from her experience, this does not look good.
Okay.
She didn't want to be the one to tell me that because it's not her specialty,
Right.
but the fear was already there
Wow.
because of the size of the tumor that came up on the X-ray in my lung.
Wow. Wow.
Which, just to put it out there, the original was about an 8.5 centimeter mass, which is kind of taking up the entire upper lobe of my right lung.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you now have a new team of doctors, I'm assuming.
Two of them.
Two of them. All right. Tell us a little bit about, the doctors that are now
So-
treating you.
So I was referred to the Jack and Cheryl Morris Cancer Center, which is part of Rutgers, Robert Wood Johnson in New Brunswick. Went there, I think it was like April 2nd or 3rd, met a thoracic surgeon who confirmed what he saw on the CT scan and ordered, the million different tests and scans and blood work and et cetera from there. Since then, there's a care team of about 12 or 13 doctors and nurses there, different departments of oncology, radiology, thoracic, and my life is pretty much in their hands at this point, and they're part of my army of fighting this.
Right, right. Yeah, so I wanted to kind of dig into the diagnosis and the prognosis a little bit before, touching on some other things. But so is there an official name then for the cancer that you are fighting today?
So it's what they've called a non-small cell and carcinoma. It's essentially in lamer English terms, stage 3 lung cancer that has metastasized to my spleen.
Okay.
Those are the only two places it is at currently, which is my lung and my spleen.
Okay. Okay. And so the journey that you are now on, the treatment plan, is to minimize the spread and eliminate the cancer that's there.
It's to shrink and zap the tumor, to shrink the cancer, kill the cancer, and then radiation to try to eliminate it completely. So it's now a little bit of chemo, a lot of immunotherapy, and then closer to the end of the summer, we're talking about targeted radiation towards those two areas, the lung and the spleen, to try to zap this thing into submission and remission.
Wow. All right. So that is not a short road. It sounds
No.
like a bit of a long road ahead of you.
They tell me up to 2 years of immunotherapy.
Okay. And can you explain for those of us that don't really understand what immunotherapy is, what is immunotherapy exactly?
It's hard for me to explain it. It is something they haven't done 3 or 5 years ago. It is a new treatment plan where it's very targeted towards certain mutations and certain cancers, but it's essentially boosting my immune system to help my body fight the cancer versus the chemo and the chemicals that fight good cells as well.
I see. Okay.
So yes, I become immunocompromised. My immune system is compromised. I now have to wear masks in public and stuff like that again, just for my own safety and protection. But it is fighting to boost my immune system to help me fight this disease on my own without trying to not affect the healthy cells or organs the way chemo typically does as well.
Okay. Wow. Wow. All right. Well, then I need to ask, you hear the words, I'm sorry, sir, I have to tell you, you have cancer, right? How does that land? How did that hit you?
Like a ton of bricks,
Yeah.
right? I ended up passing out.
Oh
in the
my
room.
God.
I had a panic attack. The first words out of my mouth is I have children at home. The next thought was, how am I going to tell my family, my mother?
Mm.
And then I felt the heat wave come, the tingling in the feet and the hands, and I knew I was having a panic attack, and I ended up essentially passing out in that room, which obviously not the first or the last. That news, isn't easy to take for people.
For those that don't know, Steve is what, 6'9"? 6'9".
200 plus pounds.
Wow. So
I was sitting down, so
Okay,
nobody
all right.
had to fall under
Get
me
out
or
of the
try
way.
to lift me.
yeah.
But they were great. They were very empathetic. Obviously I wasn't the first one to have that kind of reaction in there. By the time I came to a few seconds later, I had an EKG hooked up to me, and the whole emergency care team was there, seeing if they wanted to admit me to the ER, which I refused because a few minutes later I was back to okay.
Right.
As okay as it could be. But yeah, it hit like a ton of bricks.
Yeah. And did the team offer you any, words of encouragement? I like to think medical science has come so far, that.
So I'm going to quote the thoracic surgeon. He looked me right in the eye and told me, Steve, 20 years ago, this would have been a death sentence. Today, it is not.
Right.
And at that point, that was probably one of the most comforting things that you can hear.
Right.
Is knowing that I'm not the first one with it, obviously. They've seen this before. They've fought this before. They've beaten this before. And medicine, technology, knowledge has improved so much over the years that they're not concerned with it as much as I am at that point.
Right. You can beat this.
Exactly.
You will beat this.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And that's my tagline. Cancer picked the wrong fight.
That's right. I know when we've spoken, you said you've always been a fighter.
My whole life.
How long, though, does it take from, being told you have cancer to get your mind to that space where you're like, I am going to beat this. Cancer picked the wrong fighter. Did you have any moments of self-pity. It's normal, right? Why me?
It took a few days to come to terms with the whole thing, right? At first, it kind of felt like a nightmare,
Right.
right? Came home, I felt like I'm going to wake up in the morning and this was just a bad dream. This can't happen to me. I'm invincible.
Huh.
I don't get sick. I cause problems. I don't have them. Like this isn't me. It took a few days to come to terms with it. Um, my wife, I'm going to give her credit. A lot of it, she's my rock. I came home from hearing it, told her what I just found out. We cried together for a couple minutes. And then she looked me right in the eye and said, "You have today. You have today to feel sorry for yourself, to feel pity, to feel terrible. Tomorrow, shut up and we start fighting
Wow.
because we have children. We
Mm-hmm.
have no choice.
Right.
We have to fight." So for me, that fight started pretty much immediately after I found out that I had this disease. It just took a while to, like I said, come to terms with it and accept the fact that this is a fight now I have to take on, and it's
Yeah.
not a bad dream, and I'm not going to wake up and go, psych,
Right.
just kidding.
And there's not even a choice in it. You have to fight it, right?
There is no
You have to
choice.
fight it, right?
There is no choice. If life was different, if I didn't have the children, the family, the support system that I have, the mentality might be different. I can't speak for that because that's not where I am. But as of the moment I found out, I knew that I have no choice but to fight. I have babies at home that I want to watch grow up. They need me.
Yeah. So we've talked about you have a 16-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Yes.
So that's two very different ages to communicate a message like this, right?
Yes.
So talk to me about how you shared the news with each of your children.
The little one, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Okay. She just turned 6 a week ago. That's not something I'm going to explain to a 6-year-old and educate about.
Yeah.
The 15-year-old, it took me a while to tell her. I had to wait a little while. I had to get some testing done. I had to, just like my mother, I couldn't tell her right away because I couldn't tell her, hey, I'm sick and I don't know what's next.
Right.
I had to wait to have a plan so I could say, I'm sick and here's what we're doing about it.
Right.
And then I had to just, I talked to my wife about it and kind of ripped it off like a Band-Aid. The 15-year-old, you can't hide things like that from children.
Right.
She's going to see me have the good times, the bad times. She's very intuitive and smart and will see and understand it. I like to think we have a great relationship. So one day my wife took the little one to dance class. I sat the big one down in front of me and just ripped it off like a Band-Aid and told her.
And how did she respond?
It broke her heart.
Yeah.
We cried together
Mm-hmm.
for a little bit. Then I put her in touch with my cousin, who's a doctor, and I call her my medical consultant. She understands this stuff better than most of us because she is an MD and deals with this, and she's family. So I put my daughter in touch with her and make sure that they communicate. So when she has questions that she might not want to ask me, she doesn't go to Google. She
Right.
goes to a reliable source.
Right.
And of course, I found out she did go on Google
Right.
and ask it a question and then made the phone call to her aunt crying, is my father going to make it or not?
Right.
But at this point, we're openly talking about it. She sat with me during one of my worst times after the first treatment when I was feeling like complete crap. She sat with me and asked me how I was feeling. And I promised her that I wouldn't keep it from her and I'd be open and honest with her.
Yeah.
And she's been very supportive and helpful throughout this process so far,
Yeah. Yeah.
and keeping the little one away from me when I need to
Yeah. And
not have her on top of me.
did you get to tell your mom yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I did have, that was probably one of the hardest
Yeah. I
conversations
remember you
ever.
saying that was going to be a tough one.
And that was one of the last ones that I told, unfortunately, because again, I wanted to have a plan in place. I
Yeah.
couldn't just drop that bomb on her and tell her I don't know what's next. I waited until I had treatment plan, protocol, dates, et cetera, in place. And I told her. And she has the same mentality. She just looks at me and says, "You have no choice. You're going to fight it. You're going to beat it. You're stronger than it."
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Difficult. She hasn't spoken to me the same since. I feel like she's treating me differently now.
Right.
And I get it. I'm 45. I could be 85. I'm still her baby.
Right. Right.
But
It goes against the natural order of things as a parent, right? You're not supposed to see your child, and you never want to see your child suffer or be
Correct.
scared. And, you know, she knows you probably better than anybody and has known you the longest.
yeah, she's mom.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
hide things from her. And she looked at me and said, "I know something's been wrong. You've just been hiding it from me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what would you say to people that want to support you, but you know, you said your mom talks to you a little bit differently now, and I know we've all experienced, you know, people that we know going through challenging things, and sometimes it's hard to find the words or figure out how to help and how to support. What would you say is helpful to you for people to
Don't treat me any different.
don't treat you any different?
I'm still the same person. I still have the same messed up sense of humor.
Yeah.
I still crack the same jokes.
What was the joke you told me right as we were getting started here?
At least I don't have to worry about losing my hair with
Right,
chemo.
right. There you
right?
go.
I don't want to be treated any different. The last thing I ever want is pity or sympathy from anybody. I don't want to be treated like a sick person. You know what I mean? I know
Yeah.
I am, but that's, you know, the care, the love, the prayers, the well wishes are great, but I don't want to be treated any different today than I was before this.
And what about practically? You know, there are days when I'm imagining you can't get off the couch. I think I saw you say you can't get off the couch. Is there anything that people that love you and your family can do to help support your family?
Let me rest.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I
Peace
had
and
a
quiet.
couple of days of after the first chemo treatment, and let that be the worst side effect. I know every treatment's going to be different. Everybody's different. Everybody reacts to it different. My first treatment, I spent a couple of days. I lost a couple of days there. Day 3, 4, 5, I had zero energy, and all I did was sleep all day. It was unfortunately my wife's birthday right in that day 4 as well. She went off with her friends. Mom was there. The kids were busy with each other, and they just let me sleep and rest. And if I needed something, they were there to help me. And that's all I can ask for.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, at that point, I feel like if I was ill visibly, I would probably go hide upstairs and not let them see it.
Right. Right.
But at the same time, again, I don't want to be treated any different no matter what.
Yeah. So you can say I'm going up, not feeling the best, trying to keep it out
Yeah.
of view, but
Keep it honest. I
Yeah,
don't feel
keep it
good.
honest,
I'm
yeah.
going upstairs. Leave me alone for a couple hours. I'll come down when I'm ready.
yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But you can't be afraid to ask for the help that you need when you need it. Promise me that.
That I've come to terms with
Okay.
because there's certain things that you can't do by yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And so why this? Why are you choosing to do this? Tell me like what motivated you to share your story, to document your journey.
So I've never been a very private person, right? I wear my heart on my sleeve. All of the
Literally.
tattoos tell a story. They're all very meaningful. They've all been designed by me and my artist, same artist on all of them. I've never really been a private person. I kind of put myself out there. And the one thing I realized as soon as I found out that I am sick is that by talking about it helped me. It helped me realize how many people out there are also dealing with it. People that I've known for decades that I never know have dealt with it or have been caretakers for others that have dealt with it. And just talking about it, maybe selfishly, but helped me kind of come to terms with it, know that you're not alone in this fight. Obviously, I've read the statistics, like 1 in 4 people are affected or have someone they love are affected by it. So none of us are alone in this fight. And it's helped me a lot by talking about it. So I figured I'm going to put it out there because I've come across people in my life that I've known for decades that I never knew had this fight and fought this for 3 years because they kept it to themselves and kept it very private.
Right.
And all of a sudden, here I am talking about it. And it's helping me cope and deal with it. So I figured if I put it all out there and someone sees it and it helps one other human being out there that I don't even know by seeing someone else bravely, openly talking about it, and it helps them. It's my way of giving it for paying it forward,
Right.
Bring
Yeah.
awareness to it. The statistics that I just found out recently, because never had a reason to look into them, are insane as to how many people are actually affected by this disease. And yeah, put it out there for the world to hear, and maybe I'll help somebody else deal with it and cope with it in the future.
Yeah. Well, I know I, for one, appreciate that you are so open about it. I know that the people around you, the people in your work circles and your friendship circles, obviously in your family, it helps to give you what you want, right? Which is to treat you the same when you can have an open dialogue about it. We've all walked on eggshells around people that, are sick. And if we can loudly root for you, if we can be, just audibly cheering for you and just checking in with you, that positivity is going to help you get, to the other side.
It's a lot more helpful than I ever thought possible.
Yeah.
And I've put a couple of things out on Facebook and put it out there, and completely out of my comfort zone, right? Never
Yeah.
been private, but never went in front of a camera and looked at people and said, here, let's talk about this, especially something so private and personal as this.
Yeah.
But I feel truly blessed by the outreach and how many people are out there, that people I haven't spoken to in a decade, right? For no reason other than our lives went different paths, that are now reaching out with well wishes and prayers and just stay strong and positive vibes. And
Yeah.
it helps a lot more than I would have ever thought possible
Yeah.
until I actually deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. The positive juju, the energy field, all of it. It does matter. I believe that. And staying positive in your head is the
Yeah.
number one thing to get to the other side. So.
And we have our moments. We're human. Sometimes it's very tough too. But I'll go back to that post with the 30 different people that put their emotions on there or put their well wishes on there, and it helps kind of rein in the negative thoughts and stuff like that, knowing that there's that many people that care.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're sharing your story. I'm glad that you've chosen to be vulnerable in front of a wider audience. You are going to help people, and I know I'm appreciative that I get to help share your story with those out there. So, more to come.
More to come.
All right.
This is just the beginning.
This is the beginning.
Look right at the camera. Fuck cancer. Pick the wrong fight. A lot more information to come. We'll keep putting Facebook posts and YouTube posts and stuff out there, the good, the bad, the ugly, holding nothing back, because why not?
Fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer.